आपके द्वारा डायल किया गया नंबर अभी व्यस्त। कोरोना वायरस या
ठीक है, तो मैं स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ। तो मैं स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ। Hey, good afternoon. Welcome all to our new webinar, which is on AMP for advertisers and advertisement networks. I would like to thank you all who have joined. I just want to have a small mic check.
Hi, Vaibhav. Can you hear me?
Yes, Rajiv, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, my net connection just dropped at the last moment, some electricity issues. In case you find the same happening, just take it forward from here.
Sure.
Murphy's Law. Every time you plan something, last moment something else turns up. So if you're live, should I take it forward?
Sure, Rajiv, please go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to welcome you all, ladies and gentlemen, to a series of webinars that we have been doing. A quick introduction. My name is Rajiv. I head strategy at Meteorology Software. I'll be assisting today my colleague Vaibhav, who's been talking when I just dropped off for a bit. Vaibhav and his team is a unique set of talent. They had the technology part of it as well as the creative development at our end. When I say creative, it's not just limited to the formats, but it goes beyond that. It's the ideation, giving more holistic solutions to our advertiser friends and colleagues. Um, what we do is just a quick introduction of who we are. Um, uh, as an organization, we are called Meteorology Software. As a brand, we are Readware. Readware is the single largest digital, publishing platform in the country. We are the only Google partners in this domain in the country, and they're only partners for advanced mobile experiences globally. Uh, Being one of the largest domains for publishing, needless to say, for the advertising community, we provide a reach which is unparalleled. So on the last count, we had over 20,000 plus publications reaching around 250 million viewers on a monthly basis. So this is broadly, the area of expertise where we come. So we have been doing a whole series of webinars, as some of you might be aware. We took a small break because after the lockdown, there were a whole series of webinars that were happening in and around advertising, publishing, marketing, and we realized that a lot of these webinars had a common territory of interest, and they were slightly more generic in nature. So what we decided was this, webinar, we will do it to a specific topic, which in this case is AMP for the advertising community, and give you specific solutions, and hopefully in the short to mid-term, hopefully indicate to you through tools and various other media, how do you maximize your return on investment in the short to mid-term. So what we do is within our Readware, platform, we have something called Digital Brand Solutions. It's a SPU that we set up a year and a half back with a specific agenda to be able to give the advertisers who have partnered us much better returns, be it in terms of the number of consumers they are able to reach, be it the accuracy of reaching those consumers, or be it the brand scores that they are trying to deliver, or the leads that they're trying to derive, or the acquisitions that they want to move ahead with. And in that space, of course, we all know that digital is the future. We have been talking and harping about it for a while. In fact, just so happens, a little while back, I got a mailer, and most of the senior people who are attending this webinar would have also received a similar mailer from the Times Group, where they're saying, advertise back again in print. Print will give you secure, safe, and results. But the strange part of it, the conundrum of it is, they're all saying it in the digital space. So and digital marketing for most brands and agencies, the first thought that comes is social. And if I was to reflect on the current times in the lockdown, uh, the social media has seen a growth. It's been an organic growth, but media in terms of news, entertainment, and other fields has seen a quantum leap. Between the first week of March to the mid of April, there has been a 60.7% increase in traffic on media and news related websites. That's the kind of quantum leap we are talking about. Having said that, let's move to the next slide. I'd like to set up the expectations for this webinar. Gaurav, could we move to the next slide, please?
Sure.
So what we did, ladies and gentlemen, was before this webinar, we reached out to the marketing and advertising community, spoke to a few people, and tried to get a sense of, if we were to do this webinar, what would be the obvious questions? What is their level of understanding as of today, and how basic or how advanced should we keep this webinar? And not surprisingly, the understanding of AMP was very limited. To be honest, between 90-95% people were not either had heard the term AMP or had not heard the term. If they had heard, it was pretty much across the board. Nobody understood what it stood for. How does it play a role in their lives, at least professional lives? Would it, would it need any kind of investment from their side? If so, what kind of ROIs should they expect? And specifically, ROIs from a short to mid term. Today, all advertisers and marketers are trying to figure out how would they bounce back, and what would be the range of scalability when they do come back. So we'll be trying to answer all these questions as we move on. Let me start with what is AMP. Very simply, and I would appreciate that a lot of people attending this webinar would have a understanding of some of these questions, but some of our larger community who's present might not have a complete understanding, so I might make it sound a little basic. Plus, but please do go along with me. AP stands for Accelerated Mobile Pages. So the generation of this platform, or this requirement, was sort of conceived in 2013, 2014. It was basically a joint need of all the key stakeholders on the web to find be it, for that matter, analytics, publishers, advertisers, merchants. Uh, they felt a need for increased performance. One thumb rule that we will go with is increased performance. If I say that, it's pretty much a superset of everything, be it speed, be it engagement, be it uploads, downloads, interaction, engagement. For that, everybody came together and said, currently it's a free for all, and can we look at a sort of defined defined standard on which everybody can work together, so that there is a robust ecosystem, and the single agenda is a better web experience for all parties concerned. So that's pretty much the genesis of um, accelerated mobile pages. So one thing that was kept in mind is since it's a free for all, uh, and it is kept as an open source platform, the intent was to keep the user first. The user experience was the most critical element in the entire development of this platform. So to start with, when we say no, you keeping user first, there were no third-party scripts allowed in this format, and for most communication, it was a very consent-based platform. So, for example, if you were to advertise and moving forward in the following slides, Weber would be sharing a few examples, and you will see that in the standard format, you need the user consent, a click, or some other kind of consent for you to be able to expose your entire communication. So that's probably the genesis of AMP. So what does it provide? Like I said, um, it provides greater user engagement because we keep the user first. It's all content based. Uh, so three things that we keep bringing out of this greater engagement, or three pillars. The first is reach. Uh, as the mobile world, the mobile web world is moving towards AMP, what Google has done is in Google search, when you organically search for something, it throws up the top five, the top 10, links or the top 10 websites that you can click on. If you notice on the left hand side of all these links, there'll be a small lightning icon. So what Google has done is, based on the AMP, based websites and pages, they index their search accordingly. So all AMP related communication get a priority on Google search. So not only is your reach greater, but the quality of people you reach and the accuracy of the consumers you reach is far greater and far higher. The second part, which I mentioned, is all performance based. So it's all about speed, speed, and speed. But when we say speed, what does it mean? It means a completely different experience as far as quality of consumer experience goes. So from your side, your communication is uploaded a lot faster, a lot quicker. The deliveries of these communications to the consumer's end is a lot faster again. What that does is between him seeing the communication and clicking on the communication, the loss of traffic is absolutely minimal. So just to give you a context, on an average, between a consumer giving you consent and the consumer landing on a landing page or going to the advertiser's website, the loss could be anywhere from 50 to 60%. And we have seen it actually going up to almost 80, 90% in certain cases. But through AMP, this loss of traffic is absolutely minimal. So after faster uploads, quicker deliveries, minimizing the loss of traffic, obviously the ROIs for your media spends in terms of be it brand scores, be it in terms of uh, procuring leads or procuring acquisitions is far higher. So the third question, what ROI should I expect? In the next few slides will reflect the ROIs in terms of revenues have sometimes grown 2x, in terms of traffic has grown 6x, and even more. So it's not an incremental or a marginal or a negligible growth. It's into 200 to anywhere around 600%. Uh, so when we do have better reach and better speed, the last thing that AMP allows us to do, and we will sort of establish it in the course of during the course of the webinar, is we have more impactful communication. Since the upload is faster, we have the ability to have richer media, be it audio visuals, be it animation, be it multiple messaging in the single creative unit that you have developed, basically giving you more impact. Now, what additional resources and training would you require? The entire idea of this webinar is we are bringing to you a platform and solution which will not only give you exponential jump in terms of reaching your communication and creating more impactful, advertising ideas, but the resources that you need for these solutions is absolutely minimal. At the end of the session, Weber will be taking you through 2 or 3 slides of how easy it is to be able to acquire this set of skill set. You do not need to hire new people. You do not need to spend huge amounts of money or time on training. What you need is a just a consciousness that AMP related solutions is the future in the digital display space, and this is something that we together need to work on. Uh, at the end of the session, what you can do is you can reach out to me or Webher. We are always available. There is also a website called amp.dev. Please go to it. It will give you a much better understanding, a much more robust, explanation of what this platform is all about and how it is going to be the default in future. Next slide. Webber, next slide, please.
Yeah, we are on growth and expansion.
Excellent. So there is a slight delay from where we are broadcasting and what we see. A bit of the future, or rather, sorry, Vaibhav, could you go back one slide? Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, there's a bit of a delay between when we broadcast and when it's streamed on YouTube. Firstly, thanks, Vaibhav. Firstly, this is an interactive session. Please put down your questions, your queries into the chat box. If you're online with our moderator, he'd be feeding us questions. Of course, there'll be a little bit of delay. We'll take breaks in between the sessions and we'll try and answer those questions. But keep the questions coming. So I explained to you what broadly accelerated mobile pages is all about. It's about performance, greater user engagement, richer formats of communication, and this communication is not just limited to AMP best pages, but today complete websites are created on AMP, and some of our clients that we assist on an ongoing basis. Just to give you an idea, since we have the reach through our media partners, we provide customized solutions to the marketing teams of various advertisers and clients. But we have also noticed that after getting a fairly robust response for the advertising, by the time the consumer reaches the landing page, there is a huge loss in traffic. So we've helped certain clients like ITC, like Unilever for Dove, and various other such clients, really large clients, to set up their entire websites on AMP. So you have the minimum loss in terms of traffic and maximum captive consumers and a much richer experience when the consumer comes to your website. Um, like WhatsApp stories, Insta stories, Snapchat stories, AMP also gives you the ability to create these stories on your websites. And also on publisher websites, it gives you the opportunity for a far richer environment to place and plant your brand stories, your creative communication. Ads is something we'll talk about, and I've already mentioned. Something that's very interesting is emails. Now we have AMP-based emails as well. In the past, when you shot out an email, that was it. You couldn't retrieve it, you couldn't modify it, you couldn't change it. Today, AMP allows you to create emails specifically for advertising community, for CRM activities and other activities, where once you send them emails, you actually have the ability to modify those emails. So those emails become dynamic content moving forward. So these are some of the things that are available because of AMP as a technology for the advertising community, and we'll spend a little more time moving forward. Remember the next slide, please. Excellent. So just to give you a context, and I did mention moving forward that this will become sort of a default platform for all publishers, advertisers, merchants, analysts, pretty much everybody else to be on. So I just wanted to touch upon the history and the speed at which this has got scaled. So I mentioned around 2013, 14, the entire web community, the developing, the publisher, the advertiser, the analytical community, everybody came together for a better web experience. And one of the first large, organizations to recognize this was Microsoft. And 2016, Microsoft started developing AMP-based solutions for their Bing search. And within a year's time, Adobe was already using this platform. And in 2017, beginning 2017, less than 6 months later, they had actually published that 7% of their entire web traffic was coming from AMP-based solutions. In 6 months' time, Google published some data that they already had almost 2 billion AMP pages available that they were, accessing, and there were over almost a million web domains which had already been published on AMP as a technology. Twitter also was on the same period of time, was on the same page. They had started using AMP-based solutions for both iOS and Android apps. In another year's time, almost a couple of years from when Microsoft had started developing the technology and started working on the technology. In 2018, they full-fledged, formally and officially launched AMP-based technologies for Bing and for various other solutions that they had. And in a year's time, in by mid 2019, AMP had become a default for all major publishers. Even though the term itself says accelerated mobile pages, today it's beyond mobile. It's sort of the default for the desktop, for tablets, and for pretty much any other internet access device. And between 2018, if I look on the next slide, Rubber, please. So, 2017, 18, Google had mentioned that they had around a million, website domains and almost 2 billion AMP pages. By 2018 mid, it had become almost four times that figure in just about 6 to 8 months' time. That is the speed and scale with which this technology is getting adopted. And yes, this is a little dated data, given the fact that we're sitting in mid of 2020, but this is the official last published data. And we are very confident during this time, this figure has probably become three to fourfold larger. So it gives you a context of the overall size and size of adoption of this technology and how moving forward this is going to become pretty much the standard. Next slide, please. So something I spoke about in the introduction. Uh, Let me give you a slightly, deeper insight into why AMP for advertisers. I did mention there is greater engagement, and therefore there are greater conversations. It's all about performance. It's all about speed. And what this greater engagement and conversation gives you, it greater conversion. In our experience, all the advertisers who have been using this on our platform have had much bigger success as be it at a brand level, be it at a preference, therefore a reach level, or be it at a trial, therefore a acquisition level. Just to give you a context, an average mobile site takes around 20 seconds for a page to load. In today's time, with attention spans sinking, uh, we need to ensure that our communication reaches the consumer as fast as possible. And coupled to the fact that a typical page takes you, the first interaction takes you around 19 to 20 seconds for and this is an average. So a large part of the advertising community is the page loads are far slower than that, and for every second traffic. So it becomes very, very critical that we deliver our communication faster. On the right hand side of the slide, you will see an example. So this is for the automotive category. You can see it when Weber presents the specific case studies. But what does the faster page speed give you? It's not just about delivering your content faster and catching the consumer first, but it also allows you to put heavier files. What it means is in the same one single piece of creative unit, you have got multiple messaging that is arriving for the consumer. And that messaging can be as rich as you want it to be. The marketing fraternity keeps saying, it's all about vernacular, voice, and video. So we need to make our advertising and communication richer, and the richer we make it, the faster speeds we need. And hopefully, eventually, it converts to better brand scores, better leads, and better acquisitions. This is a real life example, even though it's on a slide and it's a video that has been captured. You can see the speed at which a standard regular ad gets uploaded and a AMP-based HTML ad gets uploaded. There's a huge difference, given the fact that if you're advertising on a publisher who's using AMP technology, his homepage or his article is going to come at a very fast speed. If your ad does not appear, equally fast or even faster, the chance of him scrolling up and not interacting with your communication becomes higher. The intention is to make our creative equally robust as the publisher website might be. Next slide, please. A certain set of data, something I had indicated earlier. So one of the questions that we faced from the advertising fraternity when we were doing a dipstick was that what kind of ROI should I expect? So one, we have established or we will establish that your investment is negligible if not nil. However, the ROIs that you get from some of this is exponential. So one example, again, you can go to amp.dev and you'll get detailed case studies on this. And hopefully, if we do another webinar the following days, we will sort of showcase these case studies. But for example, Triple Lift and Cloudflare had done an activity for Time Magazine, and in a very short period of time for that specific campaign period, they saw a 13% increase in revenue. Similarly, Teeds had done an activity, for their video inventory for almost not almost, but over 100, publishers, and they saw almost 2x growth in the click through. Therefore, the engagement rate for the consumers, and this was pretty much a result of almost 600% increase in speed of these video deliveries. So this pretty much captures the performance part of it, the speed part of it, therefore the engagement part of it, and also the revenue and the sales part of it. Moving forward, I will hand it over to Vaibhav, who will quickly walk you through certain examples of what we have done in the recent past. Of course, we have been doing it for the last couple of years, very effectively, very successfully for our client partners. But what we'll do is, given the paucity of time, showcase 4 or 5 examples quickly. And if you have specific questions, please feel free to put in the chat box, and we'll keep discussing as we go along. All over to you.
Thanks, Rajiv. I'm just want to have a small mic check. Am I audible?
Yes, please,
Yeah,
you are.
great. Thank you, Rajiv. I guess the way you have explained how what AMP is and how it is impacting both publishing and advertising industries has been great. I'll write down those small points which you have mentioned from my next webinar or meeting, because AMP has become so vast. It has become it has now started capturing so much of content, so much of visible elements around, that it becomes really impossible to explain AMP to someone in few words. But it has been wonderful which you have said, and I will surely write these points down. Now, Rajiv already explained that how AMP is impacting each and every part of the online media, whether it's the publishing part or it's the advertising parts. We have gone through what are the pros and cons, how AMP help us deliver different creatives, rich media creatives, and with a way better speed than a normal one. Now the question comes where we can start with this, where we can start learning about it, where we can start developing about it. So there's lots and lots of documentation which is available on amp.dev. Amp.dev is a community website. You can go there and you can explore, lots of options. As explained earlier, you can start learning about AMP, making how to make websites, AMP emails, AMP stories, and AMP ads. So here we'll be covering only AMP ads. Moving on to next slide, these are the guides and tools which has been recommended there on am.dev website, and these guides and tools are really important for for the advertisement fraternity to know that while making a normal and standard ad, we can create an AMP ad parallelly, and those AMP ad units can really help us to achieve and achieve our goals or campaign goals which we have. I'll start with the very first tool, which is Adobe Animate. Adobe Animate is one of the amazing tools in Adobe Bouquet, and I'm pretty sure most of you have heard about it. Adobe Animate help us to create rich animations, and a lot of designers work on Adobe Animate to create amazing animations inside the ads. So most of the ads you see on web has some kind of animations. So Adobe Animate has added a plugin inside their tool through which you can import a creative as an AMP ad. So when you are importing a creative, you created a banner, you added certain animations to it. If those animations and those set of deliveries and those set of actions you want to perform on this particular ad, if those are supported by AMP's HTML standards, you can export that ad as an AMP HTML. Second is banner stack. Banner stack is mostly online platform where you can start developing banners. Banner stack is quite quite famous in design and advertising fraternity. People go to banner stack when they have to quickly design a banner and get the best results in a lesser time. Banner stack again is an online tool where you can drag and drop the elements in a particular size banner, and you can create an ad or anything from there. It has added us a support of AMP HTML ads over there. So while you are exporting the ad, if the standards of the ad matches AMP HTML standards, you can uh, export that ad as a AMP HTML ad and start using that directly in Google Ad Manager or other tools if you're using that. Third one is Only Mega. Only Mega is also one of the famous tools. It's been used earlier for making banners, mostly very similar to how we use Canva and all, but it exclusively added support for AMP ads because these AMP ads as are now changing the way ads should be rendered. It is changing the way how people read content and how people see ads. So there's a new wave of AMP coming, which is user first, and there are lots of organizations who are working together as a community just to make it sure that whatever experiences we are rendering and we are giving to our users should be standardized. Only Mega gives you an amazing quality of ads. You can create lots of animations inside that. Last but not the least, we have Google Web Designer (GWD). I'm pretty sure everybody heard of that. GWD has single-handedly replaced Flash from advertisement and media industry. If I go back 2 to 4 years, I've always seen Flash ads, and if any requirements were coming to us, it always comes like this is the Flash files. We need to develop it inside Flash because most of the platforms through which we run ads support Flash. But because the browsers which we are using nowadays are depreciating Flash due to certain disadvantages, then the Google Web Designer emerged, and it has beautifully captured the market. and it's very fair because the elements and the concepts which people use, which is being used while you are developing an ad or banner, there is way more way more easy and way more rich. In Google Web Designer, when you are creating a banner, it's very simple, and you can just drag and drop whatever layers you want to keep on on different creatives. While you're exporting the ad format, you can select the AMP HTML format, and you will get a small code snippet, which is AMP HTML ad supported format. There are different tools available, different than GWD, where you can see and you can test that whether the ad code or ad snippet which you have got from all these tools or any of these tools, you can have another round of check just to make sure that your ad is compatible with the AMP standards. Because as explained by Rajiv earlier, that AMP is standardizing the web. It's making sure that whatever content is being served to users, if a user is coming to my or a publisher's website, or he's seeing the content over there, he's seeing the ad over there, the whole experience should be standardized. There shouldn't be uh, uh, you know there shouldn't be random pop-ups, or there shouldn't be un faithful experience there on the page. Now, let's discuss about some benefits. What are the pros and cons? And I'm pretty sure there are no cons which I have heard so far of AMP ads. And I've really tried very hard to add at least 1 or 2 points so that I can convince you that it has a downside. But I was not able to find any points on which I can say it's a con. So let's discuss the benefits only. AMP ads provide you end-to-end experience, and the whole experience is controlled. So whenever you will start, using AMP ads, you will get to know that AMP ads are served on AMP pages, and AMP pages are user-first ecosystem. And being it's a user-first system, you and user has the full control of what you want to display and what user wants to see. So it's very basic. It's very basic that both of the people who is giving the advertisement or content, or the one who is receiving advertisement on content, should be having the control over what content he wants to see or not. So while creating an AMP ad, it's a mandate that the AMP ad code should be compatible with AMP ad standards. So if it's not compatible, your ad will not go live. So this has been added. This has been added in all of the tools. This has been added on all of the ad servers as well. So this way, this technology makes sure that you have, or the user have, end-to-end control of whatever content we are displaying or whatever content a user is receiving. Second is reducing complexity in your operations. AMP ads are like an external resource. They are very easy. You can just plug and play. You will Whenever you are creating an AMP ads, you will get a AMP ad code snippet. You can insert that ad snippet inside your ad managers or different tools which you use to make run AMP ads. So there's less complexity, and since these AMP HTML ads are are being supported by all of the browsers, so you can easily run these ads on AMP pages and non-AMP pages as well, because the experience of these ads rendering on the page are very fast, so it will reduce your complexity all around. You can just create one format of the ad and run it everywhere. Measurable viewability. Now this is very interesting thing to learn about. Viewability, again, it's a very important metric while we are measuring anything. The people who are from advertisement fraternity, they know that viewability is one of the biggest parameters while we are running any campaign. Now, because AMP ads loads 6x faster than a normal ad, this makes sure that our ad is visible to the users in the first go. So let me take a very small example. If there is a mobile web page where we want to advertise, the top ad unit is the most valuable ad unit, and everybody is everybody wants to place their ads on the top because that's the first thing what user sees. But sometimes the ad coming over there is so slow that I just scroll down to the second scroll, and I can see I completely miss the top ad. Because why? Because the ad load slow. We have uh, played so much effort of displaying an ad at particular placement, but just because of the speed we lost and our performance gets to zero. This particular problem has been handled by AMP ads because these ads have a standard. There's lots of checks which go behind to make sure that if it doesn't match any standard, it should not go live. So it gives you a surety, and it gives you a speed that ad will display in a desired manner. So if we are placing our ad on the top ad unit or any ad unit which is user first or user first sees that ad unit, that these AMP ads make sure that those are loaded there. If the ad loads there very fast quickly, then the viewability metrics increases automatically. Next point is quite much related to what we discussed. We already discussed that AMP ad loads on an average 5 or 6 times faster than non-AMP version, which leads to higher conversion rates. So if my ad is properly visible to the users, if it's landing on a page, and there are lots of animations, and there are lots of new engagement metrics which you can add to that. This whole ecosystem make sure that my ad is properly visible to a user, and if there are any user consent based actions which we can add to that ad unit, that will make sure that user interacts with these ads. Interaction doesn't means that if he'll click on it or he'll land on a landing page, but he interacts on a with our ad. And when we deliver an advertisements very swiftly and on a standard which is user experience based, this builds a trust factor between an advertiser and a user. So the next time a user seeing an ad on advertisers, he will not freak out that this if I click on that ad it will take me to some other place. There's a trust factor which gets built between a user and advertisers when ads perform well with where they're seeing it. With the help of AMP ads, we are keeping all the metrics up. We are having a control, and we are also giving control to the user to make sure that nothing is unexpected if you want to interact with an ad. We The viewability metrics is too up because the speed of the ad is very fair, and engagement metrics goes up because the experiences and loading speed of the ad which we are providing to the user is very much stable. Next points are quite much related to what we have discussed in last slide. Is how AMP ads are helping on maximizing your ROI. So this point we have already talked. Rajiv has already talked about how AMP ads are helping advertisers to maximize their ROI, because AMP ads are safe from malware. They are being verified on every step before going live. In the coming slides, I'll explain how the whole ecosystem works and how AMP Ads server ensures that there cannot be any malware. And because these all small checks and systems are there on the ad servers and on the whole ecosystem, this makes sure that ads are rendered with a good speed and provides better engagement. AMP ads are not AMP, as explained, is not just limited to mobile pages. It started from there. It was a vision to build a web community which is way more stronger, and AMP has done a amazing role there. I've seen uh, that if I even search for a low search keywords, who is very randomly searched, I even get AMP pages for them as well. If I search for a movie which is like 30, 40 years old, this happened, quite a while since we are all staying home from last 30, 40 days. Most of the content on Netflix and Hotstar and all these apps is already been consumed. So I was searching for a very old movie to get some details about it. It was a 30, 40 years old movie, and when I searched that on the Google, I have seen that all the first pages of the searches are all AMP. It was a very less search keyword. I'm pretty sure about that because we were playing a game and that movie came in. But all the result pages which I got there are all AMP. So that means AMP Wave has just swept and set the standards of how experiences, how mobile web and web experience should be. And this has not been possible without the collaborative community we have. Since it's an open platform, there are big organizations who has been collaborating to this community. Not just big, everyone who is big and small, giving their ideas, making it more user friendly. So if you log into the community, I'm pretty sure whatever questions you have in mind already, you will get those solutions in the first two scrolls of your page. So it's that awesome. And the one thing I've got from this community is I've got many new ideas. Me and Rajiv always, we have a day in a week when we sit together and we brainstorm on what new ideas which we can add, so that we can add it to our DBS bouquet. So these all points make the AMP HTML ads more and more user controlled and advertisers controlled, more viewability, all the metrics which are very much necessary for running a successful campaign are all being met. And while we are running an AMP HTML ad campaign now, uh, keeping in mind all these points, we have developed certain creatives in our DBA solutions. Rajiv, if you're there, I would like some of your help to give an overview what are DBA solutions and how we are helping to set new creative media formats to the users and advertisers. Rajiv, are you there? Yeah.
Yes, I'm there. Thanks, Raghav. I'll just take 20 seconds of your time. So, what we realized was, having conducted this business for over a decade now, uh, the advertising fraternity was finding it difficult to get greater ROIs. So, typical, digital plan was giving you a 0.1, 0.2% kind of a CTR. I'm taking the most base level of return on investment. And what we noticed, and when we spoke to the senior most marketing fraternity, we realized that it had just become a tick box because they were willing to spend more on digital, but they did not know how to get more bang for the buck when it came to each media dollar spent. So what we started to do was under DBS, reaching out to the advertisers directly and asking them for a specific business challenge or a marketing opportunity that existed. And what we started doing was create a customized, unique solution for each problem addressed to us. That was the genesis of DBS. And moving forward, what we realized was it was not just in terms of the creative development, technology innovation, and the media reach, but we had to give solutions beyond, the communication part of it. So that's where, the high impact formats came in, helping them with landing pages, creating very robust solutions for e-commerce. A lot of that came into play. And the intent is to provide a single window solution with comprehensive, tools to be able to address any challenge that you might have in the digital advertising domain.
Cool. Thanks, Rajiv. So, as Rajiv explained, that we already work with lots of advertisers and media agencies to create new and innovative ad formats, and we keep on exploring more and more tools in AMP ad solutions or documentations to make sure that whatever innovation which we are doing should be beneficial for both users and advertisers. I'll start with some examples which we developed recently. This is called a Lightbox ad, and this is we use exclusively this for Prime Video. So a requirement came into our DBS solutions that four more short season second is going to launch, and we have to create some new innovative ad formats. Uh, Based on what data we provided them, agency told us that we should go with the AMP first approach for the users, because lots of users which are coming on AMP pages are a very valuable audience, because those people are searching for certain thing and they're landing on a page. That means those audience play a very important role. So we created this lightbox ad. This is again a combination of a standard display advertisement, and based on user consent, we are displaying the full screen media format to that. So this is very standard format of how EMP ads are user consent based ads, and how user and advertiser both are able to control what they want to display to the user. So as you can see on the screen, which is there on my right hand side, in the phone, there's a standard display banner of 300, 250 or 336 by 280, which is coming out there with a video playing there in the background, and we have an intuitive play button on the top, and we make sure that the display of the button, or or the placement of the button should be so intuitive that if a user wants to ignore it, or he is not able to do that. So we make sure that user clicks on this play button. We make it that much intuitive, and we play around with some look and feel just to look it more beautiful. So and we have received amazing results with this ad format. And see, with this small format, with this intuitive format, we are able to cover so many layers of communication with the a standard display unit, which is displaying on the first load. We are displaying full trailer of or trailer or whatever communication we want users to communicate. And if user interacts with it, we are opening a full page then in there only. So there is no lag in landing, there is no lag in asking users to go to a landing page and then perform some action there. Those days are gone, right? We have to provide user that much of a better experience, that much of speed, that he is convinced that the particular product which I'm browsing right now has got everything covered. So the days of landing pages, the redirecting user from ad to a second page and asking him to perform action there, is now a thing of a past. Now with the help of these intuitive formats, we can just ask user to uh, take an action there and perform or go ahead with transactions then and there only on that same particular page. We don't need to take him to a new page. And when we run this ad, this is one of our best formats here. Yes, Rajiv, you were saying something.
Sorry, if I might just quickly add from an advertiser's perspective. So Vaibhav just did touch upon the technology part of it and the performance part of it. Uh, so this is a very specific example how a client reaches out to us with a specific business or a marketing challenge. So here was a program which had four very strong characters that needed to be displayed, and all the four characters needed to come out with equal emphasis. So if you look at the when you click on it, you go to the next full page interstitial. It has one live trailer on video which is running. There are four options of different clicks. You click on them. You go to a trailer for that specific character, and you see her story. In a succinct manner. Uh, for this kind of a format, currently we have used it for one program with four characters. It can be used and has been used for almost like online film festivals for the same genre, different titles. It can be for one hero different. So, for example, the little unfortunate incident that happened with Rishi Kapoor or Irfan, you wanted to play a whole series of properties on one of the gentlemen. All can be done in one single plane of advertising, and it's almost as if we are reflecting that part of the communication from the the client's website without necessarily taking him to the website. So all that you're saying is on the publishers, on the advertisers page, without taking him to a landing page or to the advertiser's website at incredible speed. So it's real time experience.
Yes, Rajiv. So
All yours, Web.
this is actually a real-time experience. You just click on that. We keep that full page ad preloaded in the background. So that's the beauty of how AMP ads are changing the era of display advertisement. And the three metrics which has been quite consistent and which are very important for any particular campaign is that we received more and more viewability. We receive actually double viewability. One viewability for a standard ad display and more plus add-on viewability or a full screen viewability for what happens if someone clicks on the play. More clicks happened because the format was very intuitive. The play button which was coming on the top, makes it irresistible. Every user just wanted to see, okay, let me see what is behind that play button. High more clicks and higher CPMs obviously. Next is very similar and again a very intuitive format is AMP carousel ad, and we will having a small workshop for 2-3 minutes in the end where we'll create one carousel ad very quickly just to give you an idea that you don't need to have any extra resource, or you don't need to make extra effort to create these ads. This can be done very easily in less than 2 or 3 minutes. So this carousel ad, we got the requirement from one of the giants in the industry from grofers that they are running a sale, and they want to communicate to the users that in this sale there are the different combos which they have created and different sale which is going on the items. So on the AMP side, we came up with this format, standard display format of big beautiful image of what sale and with all the details in the background, and in the foreground as a small carousel we can add n number of elements there with the details of the sales, with price, discounts, etc., etc. So again, in this way, a single creative can be used for multi-layered communication. This is actually a very interesting format which we came up with. We created the advertisement for AMP advertisement for automobile giant MG Hector. So they have been doing amazing ads. Here we've seen all around on the web. So this is our contribution to their advertisement campaign with the AMP ad. And this AMP ad use some technical parameters, which is AMP scroll bound or position of observer. So this, while we're scrolling a page, we get all the placement metrics that whether user is scrolling the page, and with the scroll we display and we increase and decrease the ratio of the video. As you can see how smartly the video is coming inside an ad. And since there's an animation already in this scrolling, we are not asking user to do any other thing to attract his eye span or attract his eyeballs. uh, Scroll is a very natural thing which you do on mobile, and with the scroll if you see any animation on the page, and that too which is done quite nicely, s- uh, it makes it makes sure that user sees what animation it is happening right there. And we enwrap that animation inside an ad, and that to an AMP HTML ad. So the speed and delivery of this ad has been phenomenal. We have got phenomenal results. The click rate of play button, the play video button, the engagement with that ad has been pretty amazing. Unfortunately, I can't share the numbers here, but as you can see in the ad itself, it makes little bit irresistible for the users not to engage with it. A few more solutions which we developed for one of the solutions which we developed for Hero. They are launching their new line of scooties and scooters. So we created one AMP format again with multi-layered of communication. Advertisers want to have one display ad with multi-layer of communication, that we are launching this particular scooter. These have all these features, amazing features inside, but they want to make it it compact in a display advertisement. So we went ahead with this format. There's a beautiful image which is coming in the background, and in the top there's a stack of cards which you can move left to right. Again, very engaging. So that's been our whole idea behind making AMP HTML ads, because these ads load faster. We have the freedom of making it a little bit complex, and a little bit complex on development side, but more easier on the user side. So when a user sees this ad and he sees, okay, there are other things which are hidden inside an ad, let me see what they are. So that way we ask user for engagement. When user engages, he finds very good user experience over there, and the journey continues. So we got viewability, we got engagement, we got CPMs, and these are the best cases for a campaign, right? Great. So let's move forward to AMP stories. What ads we see in AMP stories? So AMP stories, as Rajiv discussed initially, are a new format, very much similar to WhatsApp and Instagram and Snapchat stories we see. But these are web pages. These are basically web pages, and not just web pages. Those are AMP web pages, and we call them AMP stories. These AMP stories are very similar to statuses, so it comes in full screen display. In between the stories, in between the slides of a story, you can place ad. Those ads can be those ads should be on a mandate should be AMP HTML ads, and those as you can see, these ads come in full screen mode. So we have a very big canvas to play around. We can go ahead with a full screen video. We have a full screen to play around with multiple layer of communications. There can be multiple videos, there can be multiple gifs, there can be multiple images, and so basically we can fit a small world inside a small screen, and that too inside an ad. And all of these things are happening on a blazingly fast speed AMP HTML page. Apart from that, there are lots of demand partners. As a back, if advertisers see that if we are placing any AMP ad and we are running any campaign, if we are getting any backfill, or we want to experiment with some of the demand partners who are already giving that demand other than Google. So these are a big list of demand partners which are there. And all these can be handled via Google Ad Manager, and you can have all the experiments of exchange bidding, or selling an ad space to the advertisers, especially in that AMP HTML ad format. Now we are not just leaving you there. We are just towards the end of the webinar. We are not just leaving you there with AMP ads, or not just AMP ads. Uh, the journey which we have covered till now is how we can display faster and better ads with the help of AMP HTML. Now we have displayed the ad. What's next? Next is EMP landing pages. We have to make sure that if user is engaging with our ad, and if he's clicking with the ad or a display advertisement which we have given there, ad loads fast. We have given the experience, but our goal doesn't get completed until and unless we ask that user to land on a landing page, right? What if a user is lost between an ad and a landing page? We have seen a few landing pages which are very complex, or if someone wants to give too much of information of the technology which you are using to develop their landing pages is not that fast. The conversions drop in between, and the whole energy and the whole technology which we enable to display that small 300 by 250 ad there goes in vain, because user is not able to land on the page, because the landing page is very very slow. It doesn't, if it doesn't opens in less than 5 or 6 seconds, I myself know I myself skip that page, or I close the browser, and I'm pretty sure all of you who are watching this will agree to me. If a if a page is not loading faster on my phone, I will not browse it. I just move away, and we don't want that, right? If we are putting some money, we are putting a huge amount of money of displaying that ad, we want the conversions. Now just to make sure that conversions happen and the user doesn't get lost in between an ad and a landing page. We have to make sure that we create blazingly fast AMP landing pages. uh, so there are few very few AMP landing pages which we have created. We have worked with big brands like ITC, Dove, and Datsun. Few images which you are able to see on my screen. These are examples of the solution which we have given to them. With ITC, we are working exclusively, and we started all this when when we see the loading speed of their pages, or the booking or the screen where users book a hotel is very low. And we then brainstorm, and we get on a spree to create a blazingly fast AMP landing page for a campaign, and let's see how it performs. And we have seen phenomenal results. After seeing those results, we started on a new journey to completely revamp their not revamp, actually, to add AMP HTML support to their website. So and those pages work as AMP landing as landing pages of the campaign, because the loading speed of those pages are very fine. So if a user is coming from an ad which is an AMP HTML ad which loads very fast, he clicks on that or he engages on that, lands on an AMP HTML page, a landing page, the whole experience is seamless. Correct. The whole conversion can happen in seconds. I click on an ad which loads instant. When I click on when user clicks on the ad, I land on a landing page which is again AMP. So it will make sure that it runs, and it renders pretty fast. So the whole experience is seamless, and that's what is the motive behind AMP, to make sure that users are getting the speed they deserve. The users are getting experience which they deserve with a brand. And these experience especially build trust and relationship between your users and advertisers. So based on that trust factor, we can give more and more better experiences. We can keep on innovating new and new ad formats, and making the whole process seamless. Rajiv, do you want to add something, if there's something if I have missed?
No, Vaibhav, pretty much on track, and we are short of time, so we'll make this quick.
Sure. So we just have a small workshop just to give you guys an idea how easy it is to create an ad. So before going to a workshop, I just wanted to explain and go into a little bit deep of how an HTML ad work. As you see on the screen, if a ad is landed on a page, we lands on a page, AMP ad displays over there. Simultaneously in parallel, there's a CORS, I mean, a cross browser resource sharing request goes to the ad server. Ad server get the creative which is again in AMP HTML format, and there is a constant validation service. This is the core. The validation service makes sure that there are no discrepancies inside the AMP HTML ad, and based on the go ahead of this validation service only, the ad gets served there. So this all happened in microseconds. You don't even realize that it all has happened there. And this validation service makes sure that there are no ads, or there are no ads with any discrepancies which has been served on the pages. So this is how the whole ecosystem works. We'll be creating a small ad just in front of you. This would take just 2 minutes. Uh, I'll just go to AMP Playground. This is a tool which AMP has provided us to make sure to develop and create ads from there. So its URL is playground.amp.dev. This is the how the playground look like. You can select whatever development environment do you want. Have started on AMP ads, so this will give you a basic skull of the ad what you want to create. I'll just give an idea. We are going to create this ad, and that too in 2 or 3 minutes. This is the ad. This is an AMP ad using a AMP carousel format, which we developed for Asian Paints. So we'll quickly create this ad, and I'll just give you an idea how we can create it. If you can see my screen, I'll start creating a div for this ad basically. Okay. So just to make it a little bit faster, uh, I've already created some HTML so that I won't take too much of your time. Let's suppose I create a div. With this div, I'll start giving it some classes. So it everything got gets up and running easily. So these classes which I've made sure. So I've created a div of 300 by 250, which is in red color, quite similar to what we want here. Now I want to have a AMP carousel. So for having a AMP carousel, we don't need any third-party JavaScripts. We just need to include one single script of AMP carousel. See how easy it is, right? Earlier we have to go to 5 6 sites to search what is the best carousel. No need of doing that now. You just place one script of AMP carousel which you can find on amp.dev resources. Now I just want to put what carousel I want to add. So I've already copy and pasted this carousel. This is a very standard carousel, and how it looks like once you go around with the uh, AMP dev documentation, you can see. So AMP for AMP carousel, I just have to declare these few things. I have to add an AMP tag, AMP carousel tag here, and I have to give it how much width I want to give it and how much height I want to give it. I have given it height of 220 because I want some height to be placed for my action buttons or a few other things. And inside that AMP carousel, you can start putting AMP images. So this is the first image, and this is a rule inside AMP that you have to upfront give what should be the height and width of an image. So see, it's that simple. I just need to add a logo and my ad is ready. Right now, without taking much time, I'll give you an idea how we can validate if this ad is working fine or not. We can validate it on Google Ad Manager or any ad server you are using to run an ads. Apart from that, we can search for AMP Validator, which is again a AMP tool which is there. Uh, we people use it to validate ads and validate AMP pages. I just copy paste my code from here and I validate it here. Sorry. So here also I have to make sure that I am testing an AMP, not an AMP page. I'm testing a AMP for ads thing because the validations is different for AMP ads and validation is different for AMP page. So the ad which I've created has given us a validation status of pass, which you can see on the screen here. So you can just copy paste this ad snippet. If you want to add anything, you can add it here. If you want to add a logo or something, you can add it here. And we can just copy paste this code and my ad is ready. So you can see how simple and how basic it is. We created an ad just in front of you by using two elements only, first and div and second amp carousel. And there are lots and lots of innovations which we are doing. Great minds in my team, Rajiv, Manish, and there are few very experienced people in this fraternity who are guiding us with these new innovations. Please, if you want any new campaign running, please make sure. And also, if you're planning for a new campaign, please make sure you give a space to AMP HTML ads inside that. And I'm pretty sure those AMP HTML ad results will give you way better performance than the normal web. Uh, I just want to end it here. Thanks all for joining. If you have any questions, we are open to all the questions. You can add your questions inside the comments. Moderator, please make sure whatever questions are coming to in the comments, come to us. Rajiv, before closing, is there anything you want to add to this? We are just ending this session.
Yeah, excellent. For all of those who are participating, a quick recap of what we have just gone through in the last 1 hour. We all know that digital is the future. We are all working towards it. But display is growing by leaps and bounds in the current scenario, and that's the future for us. In display, we need to move focus more and more on engaging with the consumer. And AMP is the solution or the platform on which we find the solution. Why AMP? Because it's a collaborative effort by all parties concerned to deliver a better web experience. And for us as a community, the advertising fraternity, it's about greater engagement through greater speeds, richer media, and greater interactivity. To answer one of the first four questions I put in the first slide, it's about little or negligible investment. It's just about being conscious of the fact that this is the future and this is the default. For better understanding, there's always amp.dev, and we are there for you wherever you feel that you need to have a better understanding or need assistance in, getting on the right track. We are there for you. Please feel free to reach out to us, and thank you once again for all your participation.
Thanks, Rajiv. So we have some questions coming in. So one question is coming in from Tripti. So Tripti wants to ask, can we use AMP HTML ads in normal pages? So yes, Tripti, we can use AMP HTML ads in normal pages. So as you can see, this HTML ad format is a small snippet which comes in handy with all the resources which are there. So these resources are hosted on an ad server, so you can guide where do you want to display the ad. So this works best on AMP HTML pages, but still works better than normal ad formats on a normal web page as well. Cool. We have one more question coming in from Parag. So Parag wants to ask, do we need to buy the tools and guides which you displayed in the first slide? No, Parag, we don't want to. You don't need to specifically use the tools. If you are comfortable in using, basic HTML, AMP HTML, there are lots and lots of documentation which you can find. So there is no actually need of going ahead initially for a paid model. But if you want to scale up and you have large operations and you want to scale up the production, then you can explore some solution. But as you've seen in our demo, that there are these things are pretty simple to make. You just have to go through some codes and bits of line, and you can see we can create an ad in a jiffy. So I advise myself initially start experimenting with basic layouts, and if you feel the need of it, then you can go ahead with the paid implementation. Cool. uh, uh, Moderator Karthik, any other questions coming in? Otherwise we can just wrap it up.
Yeah, I think let's address the question one on one offline. I think we have run out of time. So thank you once again.
Yes, so one last question, sorry, coming in from Sangam. Uh, Let me just quickly see the question.
Go for it.
Yeah. So one question which is there from Sangam: do you see more adoption of ads in future? Yes, Sangam. It's not. I'm pretty sure it's not just adoption of ads in future. I see a transformation of AMP ads in future. So seeing the performance of all these ads, on different platforms on mobile web, and speed is the major factor which everybody needs, and engagement is the second one. And these two, engagement and speed, are the core core values of AMP HTML ads. So I just don't just see the adoption. I see a complete swap of AMP ads in place of normal ads. One more question which we got from Bhupesh: will today's session video will remain on YouTube? Yeah, Bhupesh, the session will remain on the YouTube. In case you want to have a one-on-one with any one of us, you can get in touch directly with us here, or you can contact us on rwadx.com. Great. So thanks again, all of you, for giving us this much of time, and thanks again for attending this webinar. We have couple of amazing new sessions planned in the future. We'll keep on updating you. Thanks. Stay safe. Thank you.